Here in Philadelphia, the stage is set. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are hours away from their first high-stakes meeting on a national stage in front of a national audience. Both are hoping to use tonight's debate to sway those key undecided voters. Just over 2 months ago, President Joe Biden, the presumptive Democratic nominee, faced former President Donald Trump on an Atlanta stage.
We finally beat Medicare.
24 days later, Biden announced his exit, vaulting Kamala Harris to the top of the ticket with a burst of momentum. But now polls show a tightening race.
It was inevitable that her rise would run out of steam. We live in a deeply polarized country where partisan identity is critical.
The Harris campaign coming out swinging with a new ad Tuesday designed to grab the attention of both voters and her opponent.
This weird obsession with crowd sizes.
As the vice president says she's prepared to face an onslaught of lies and personal attacks from Trump on the debate stage.
He plays from this really old and tired playbook, right? Where there's no floor for him in terms of how low he will go.
But the Trump campaign expects the former president will stay on message.
He has to focus on what he has focused on primarily throughout the whole campaign trail, talking about bringing down inflation, talking about securing that southern border, and making sure that he holds Kamala's feet to the fire for 50 days.
Both looking to sway those undecided voters who hold the keys to victory.
Yo.
I just have to watch the debates.
These people are bugging. This is my question. Okay, so Joe Biden has a debate with Donald Trump that he loses. And all of a sudden, first of all, that was even obvious. You didn't need a poll to tell you that he lost that debate. Everybody knew. And there was no poll. You didn't hear any of these media outlets going that it was in a recent poll, Donald Trump is now winning because he won the debate against Joe Biden. No, there was no poll. So then a few weeks later, Kamala Harris gets, in between her getting the nominee for her being the president, in between Joe Biden stepping down and her stepping up, this happened. When Joe Biden lost that debate, all of the talk was about how bad he looked and how incompetent he looked, okay? They were pretty much trying to tear the dude down. And then, what you do next? You shoot her up to the top. And even though she wasn't liked, the very next thing you had the media come out and say is recent polls show her winning. This is what I want to know. All these recent polls, okay, first of all, the polling place ain't open until it's time to vote. So where's all these recent polls being held? And how come not only do I not know anybody who's taken one of these polls, but I've asked my friends and my family members, have they taken any of these polls? Or do they know anybody who's taken any of these polls? And nobody seems to know. That poll shit ain't real. I ain't mad. Get the fuck out of it. Anyway, we gotta stop paying attention to these people with this bullshit. I keep saying, it doesn't matter who's, okay. Let me tell you why it don't matter who's the president. The last time I was at a polling station, I didn't see the Jewish community down there standing in a group. I didn't see the Chinese community down there standing in a group or whatnot. I did see a bunch of white people. I did see a bunch of black people. I did see a bunch of Spanish people, But those other two groups I named, they are just two of the groups I didn't see down there. There are more groups that I can speak of that you won't see down there. And the reason why you don't see them down there is because they understand what we don't, obviously. And that is this. Let me use a small analogy. Let's say I don't know how many people saw the movie Panther back in the 90s with Kadeem Hardison. It was about the Black Panther Party movement. Mario Van Peebles put it together or whatnot. And they wanted a street light put in their neighborhood because cars was always speeding through there and hitting the kids, running over the kids. But, they had no power on how to get it or whatnot. And I'm using that as a small analogy. Now, let's go back to those two groups I was talking about. The reason why you don't see them at the polls is because they understand what we don't. It doesn't matter who's sitting in the seat for them. Why? Because they are together. Okay? They know how to get together on one accord, pool their resources, pool their ideas, and come up with solutions for their people. So it doesn't matter who's sitting in the seat. If they need a street light in their neighborhood, they pool their resources. They get the things they need done. They come together as a voting bloc so that when this person says that he's up for election or whatnot, or if he's sitting in the seat when it's time for them to voice their concerns or their needs, they are together as a group and they have what they need to come to this person. They are not just coming to this person talking, hey, we need this and we need that. No, they have the things together that they're supposed to have together in order to get the street light put up in their neighborhood. Okay, and that's the problem. That's the problem we have. They keep us, especially if you're watching this trick box. I mean, and the trick box is now even all these other outlets, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. What is it called now? X. Instagram, whatever you're watching, the trick box has now been transformed from not only a television but your phone. You know what I mean? And that's what they're using to send all this misdirection. All this crazy propaganda and keeping your mind focused on who's the president when here it is. If you have things that you need changed in your community, that's the business of your local legislator or your local congressman, your local senator, your judges, your lieutenant governors, your governors. That's their job. That's not the president's job. And if you're paying attention, every time the feds say they're gonna do this or they're gonna do that on the federal level or whatnot, it's up to these states to follow suit. And most states never follow suit. They always do their own thing. And let me hit you with some more stuff I learned about years ago. There's standard operating procedure and there's local operating procedure. And that's the type of thing they lean on. So when the feds say they're going to change the law to this or that doesn't mean it's changed on the state level. You know what I mean? And until we start wrapping our minds around things like this, we're going to stay fucked up. Period. Moving on in the conversation a little bit, I want to hit y'all with this. Yeah, I am a fan of reparations, but I am also a fan of education. Okay, I also feel like if these people did decide they was going to give black people some money, what's going to actually happen is the Chappelle skit. Okay, the dude who just bought the boxes, the truck full of cigarettes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just using that as an analogy. What I'm really trying to say is the minute them folks just hand us a bunch of money, we ain't gonna do nothing but hand it right back to them by buying a bunch of stupid shit and doing a bunch of stupid shit and making a bunch of crazy investments that we know ain't gonna work. Okay, because without education, money is freaking useless. Okay, it's really useless. That's why all of your entertainers and your athletes, that's why so many of them go broke. If they don't have the right kind of people around them to tell them what to do with their money or to show them what to do with their money, they always lose it. So money is useless without proper education on what to do with it. All right, I gotta go. I got things to do. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I appreciate you. Salute.
You're my twisted truth.